Hi everybody, I am here to give you an update about my last video. So in my last video, I was talking about this big commitment I was making, and I was kind of teasing it. It was February and it was around Valentine's Day, so I was gonna try to make it seem like maybe I got engaged or something like that, something real romantic. And I did make a romantic commitment, and what I did decide to do is to take 1 year off from dating, and 1 year off being, not physical, practicing abstinence. And since then, and even during that time, I keep flip-flopping, oh, this is what I'm going to do, well, this is what I'm going to do. But the bottom line is I don't want to pass a certain physical boundary, for sure. That's like a priority thing. But before I even get into anything, give you my updates and my struggles and let you know the dirt on everything in my life, because my life is an open book, I want to remind you and even give you some insights on why I decided to do this. The reason why I decided to do this relational experiment is for the number one reason. I really need to buckle down, I need to focus. It was around my birthday that I started thinking about making this choice, because it's the last year of my 20s and I just really want to make this year count, and I really want to do what I love. And I have worked so many jobs and I enjoy them, I find a lot of passion in them, but it's not what I really want to do. So this is going to be my year where I'm going to make that happen, so I can next year, being a 30-year-old, do this kind of thing, do what I love. So I even made some notes here. I'm getting organized because this is an experiment. We're writing things down, we're being honest, it's scary for me, it's all entertainment for you. And so more relationship reasons why I decided to do this is I really wanted to gain some wisdom. And a lot of us go around dating just not even thinking about certain things and repeating the same patterns over and over again and wondering why we find ourselves disappointed or brokenhearted. And I think a lot of it has to do not only with people we choose, if they're not being right, whatever, but how we act in relationships, how we act when we're dating somebody. And maybe we put something out there, and it's good to look at yourself and say, if I were on a date with myself, what would that be like? Who am I? What am I putting out there? And then also, I wanted to learn how to better protect yourself. Not just wearing your heart on your sleeve, because I'm the kind of person, I'm very open, very friendly, and I just wear my emotions on me. And a lot of us, we do that, and that can be, we have to learn to not play games, but to still have a guard up and finding that balance. And also learning how to protect others. When you're dating somebody and maybe you're not really that into them, but you like them, or you feel sorry for them, or there's something there, and it's not really going to work out, but you're still kind of dragging them along, or vice versa. Somebody else is doing that to you, and you're being all googly-eyed and excited and thinking this is going to lead somewhere. And a lot of times, people just will shove down their gut feelings and try to ignore all that. And that's something that I think we're all guilty of, is ignoring the red flags. And I think a note that I even put down here is finding the difference between making compromises versus making excuses. And that's a big difference, because being in a relationship, you do make compromises, that's part of it, but there comes a point where you're just making excuses for somebody, or there's some things that you may really need out of a relationship and you're putting it on the back burner, and that's not fair to you. And you should be with somebody who can uphold those things that mean a lot to you, especially in a relationship. So it's definitely been challenging. In my last video, I said, oh, people are telling me that once I say this out loud, all these guys are going to be running for the mountains. I didn't use that word, but pretty much, Mr. Right's going to come along. Mr. Right has not come along yet, but I have had a lot of temptation, and now you guys can get the scoop of my life. I have been hanging out a lot with a gentleman, and we are, yes, both attracted to each other, but I made this plan clear. It's been so hard, and I think that I can even improve based on my past actions with this, and I'll fill you in on it. I am learning as I go, okay? Practice makes perfect.
Practice makes perfect. I'm still trying to learn it by heart.
Through this experiment, I'm learning. Okay, so what I want to do, my objective, is to gain close relationships with people, feel them out a little bit more, spend more time with them before we make that jump into the romance, to the physical. So if you're doing this with a friend, it was not the best idea for me to be going one-on-one with this person. And it makes it a little romantic that way, and I think that's okay later on down the line, but initially, when constantly you guys are hanging out with each other, and something I'm very guilty of is I give the girlfriend experience before becoming a girlfriend. And just in little things, you know, it doesn't have to be all whatever, but I was giving that, and I think I needed to pull back, and part of that is that one-on-one interaction. So I think in my learning, my trial and error, that you should maybe start off in group settings with friends, not one-on-one. And that's something that's, you know, part of the experiment is to see what works and what doesn't, and I think that is just playing with fire, and I have been playing with fire for a few weeks. Ever since before I put this video out, I started dabbling with fire. So there's a lot of gray area, and when you make rules, you should stick to them.
1, don't pick up the phone. You know he's only calling cause he's drunk and alone. 2, don't let him in. You have to kick him out again. 3, don't be his friend. You know you're gonna wake up in his bed in the morning, and if you're under him, you ain't getting over him. I got no rules, I count him.
So subscribe, thumbs up, just interact on this video, because it's a social experiment, and that is what it's all about, is talking and engaging, and maybe you have some awesome ideas that I would never think of. You're looking at me and your perspective, which is amazing, and that can be really helpful. And let's see what happens. Let's try these new rules, and we'll see what turns up, and I will keep struggling on.
I to myself, 1, don't pick up the phone. You know he's only calling cause he's drunk and alone. 2, don't let him in. You have to kick him out again.